Welcome back to Days of Our... Today we will learn about the explosive courtroom drama and shocking revelations that are about to unfold in Salem this Friday, August 22nd. The DiMera family finds themselves at the center of a devastating legal battle that threatens to tear apart multiple families, while secret schemes and hidden truths begin to surface across town. The courtroom erupts. Johnny's trial reaches its peak. The tension in Judge Leo Stark's courtroom has reached a breaking point as Johnny DiMera's murder trial draws to its dramatic conclusion. For weeks, the young DiMera has been fighting for his freedom against charges that he attempted to murder his own father, E.J. DiMera. However, the real truth behind that fateful night has remained buried beneath layers of family loyalty and desperate protection. As the jury prepares to deliver their verdict, the atmosphere becomes electric with anticipation. Johnny, who courageously dismissed his father as his attorney after E.J. presented doctored footage implicating Chanel, has been representing himself with remarkable determination. His passionate closing arguments have resonated throughout the courtroom, painting a picture of a young man wrongfully accused while fighting to clear his name and protect his wife's reputation. But just as Leo Stark rises to announce the jury's decision, the proceedings take an unprecedented turn. E.J. DiMera, haunted by recovered memories of that traumatic evening, finally remembers the shocking identity of his actual shooter. The revelation hits him like a thunderbolt. It was little Rachel Black, Kristen's innocent daughter, who pulled the trigger in what can only be described as a tragic accident. Kristen's ultimate sacrifice. A mother's love knows no bounds. Kristen DiMera finds herself trapped in an impossible situation as E.J. prepares to expose the devastating truth about Rachel's involvement. With her daughter's future hanging in the balance and Johnny's freedom at stake, Kristen realizes that time is running out for any alternative solutions. The weight of maternal responsibility crushes down upon her as she contemplates the unthinkable. In a moment of pure desperation and unconditional love, Kristen makes the ultimate sacrifice that will forever change the course of multiple lives. Rising from her seat in the courtroom gallery, she interrupts the proceedings with a stunning confession that sends shockwaves through everyone present. With tears streaming down her face and her voice trembling with emotion, Kristen declares that she was the one who shot E.J. that night, effectively taking responsibility for a crime she never committed. The courtroom explodes into chaos as spectators gasp in disbelief, and legal professionals scramble to process this unexpected development. Kristen's confession serves multiple purposes. It protects her innocent daughter from prosecution while simultaneously ensuring Johnny's immediate freedom. Her calculated decision demonstrates the lengths a mother will go to shield her child from the harsh realities of the adult world. Sean Brady steps into action. The arrest that shakes Salem. Detective Sean Brady, who has been monitoring the trial proceedings closely, immediately springs into action following Kristen's shocking admission. As a seasoned law enforcement officer, Sean recognizes that a confession in open court requires immediate response, regardless of the personal relationships involved or the complex family dynamics at play. With heavy heart but unwavering professional duty, Sean approaches Kristen and formally places her under arrest for the attempted murder of E.J. DiMera. The sight of handcuffs being placed on Kristen's wrists creates a powerful visual that underscores the gravity of her sacrifice. As she's led away from the courtroom, Kristen maintains her composure, knowing that her actions have saved both Johnny and Rachel from devastating consequences. The arrest sends ripples of shock throughout the Brady and DiMera families, who must now grapple with the implications of Kristen's confession. While some may view her actions as heroic, others question whether justice is truly being served when the real perpetrator remains free. Belle Black's legal instincts. Sensing the deception. Belle Black, whose sharp legal mind has served her well throughout her career as an attorney, immediately recognizes that something doesn't add up about Kristen's sudden confession. Despite their complicated history and past conflicts, Belle's sense of justice compels her to examine the situation more critically. Her professional instincts tell her that innocent people don't suddenly confess to crimes in such dramatic fashion without ulterior motives. As Belle pieces together the timeline of events and recalls various conversations she's witnessed between family members, a clearer picture begins to emerge. She remembers Marlena's unusual behavior, EJ's protective stance, and the way certain family members have been walking on eggshells around young Rachel. The puzzle pieces start falling into place, leading Belle to suspect that the real shooter might be someone entirely unexpected. Belle's growing suspicions create additional tension within an already volatile situation. Her determination to uncover the truth could potentially unravel Kristen's carefully constructed sacrifice, forcing the family to confront even more difficult decisions about protecting Rachel while ensuring that justice is ultimately served. Marlena's moral dilemma. A grandmother's impossible choice. Dr. Marlena Evans finds herself caught in the crossfire of family loyalty and professional ethics as Kristen approaches her with a heartbreaking plea. The renowned psychiatrist, who has already begun to suspect Rachel's involvement in the shooting, now faces an agonizing decision that will test every principle she holds dear. Kristen's emotional request centers on protecting Rachel's innocence and ensuring that the young girl never learns the full truth about that traumatic night. She begs Marlena to remain silent about Rachel's actual role in the shooting, allowing Kristen to bear the burden of guilt and punishment instead. The request places Marlena in an impossible position between her duty as a mental health professional and her love for her extended family. The conversation between these two women reveals the complex layers of maternal and grandmotherly love that drive their actions. Marlena understands Kristen's desperation while also recognizing the psychological implications of covering up such a significant trauma. Her decision will have far-reaching consequences not only for the legal proceedings, but also for Rachel's long-term emotional well-being and development. Brady's growing suspicions. The Sophia Choi mystery deepens. Meanwhile, away from the courtroom drama, Brady Black finds himself increasingly troubled by inconsistencies in Sophia Choi's adoption story. The young woman's accidental slip when she referred to her baby as a boy instead of a girl has planted seeds of doubt in Brady's mind that continue to grow with each passing day. Brady's paternal instincts and his desire to support his son Tate through this difficult time have made him hyper-aware of every detail surrounding the adoption process. When he approaches Sarah Horton-Kiriakis seeking clarification about Sophia's situation, he encounters unexpected resistance and evasive answers that only fuel his suspicions further. Sarah, who is already burdened with the knowledge of Sophia's deception regarding the baby's gender, finds herself in an increasingly uncomfortable position. She must balance her promise to keep Sophia's secret against her growing respect and affection for Brady and Tate, who have shown her nothing but kindness during her own difficult period. The pressure to maintain this deception weighs heavily on Sarah's conscience, especially as Brady's questions become more pointed and persistent. EJ's strategic silence. A father's complex calculations. EJ DiMera's decision to remain silent about Rachel's true involvement represents a calculated risk that demonstrates the complex nature of family loyalty within the DiMera clan. Despite his initial determination to clear Johnny's name regardless of the consequences, EJ ultimately chooses to accept Kristen's sacrifice as a viable solution to an impossible situation. His silence serves multiple purposes within the intricate web of family relationships. By allowing Kristen to take responsibility for the shooting, EJ protects both Johnny and Rachel while avoiding the devastating publicity that would surround a case involving a child perpetrator. The decision also reflects EJ's understanding that sometimes the greater good requires personal sacrifice and moral compromise. However, EJ's choice to remain quiet about the truth creates potential future complications. The secret knowledge he carries could become a burden that affects his relationships with other family members, particularly if the truth eventually surfaces through other means. His strategic silence represents a gamble that the family's collective decision to protect Rachel will ultimately prove to be the right choice. The ripple effects. Salem's future hangs in the balance. The events of this pivotal Friday episode create lasting implications that will reverberate throughout Salem's interconnected community for months to come. Kristen's arrest and confession set in motion a series of legal and personal challenges that will test the strength of family bonds and individual moral convictions. The DiMera family must now navigate the complex aftermath of their collective decision to protect Rachel, while the Brady clan grapples with the knowledge that one of their own has been wrongfully imprisoned. The legal system faces questions about the validity of Kristen's confession and whether justice has truly been served in Johnny's case. As these dramatic storylines continue to unfold, viewers can expect to see how each character processes the weight of their decisions and the consequences of their actions. The intricate web of secrets, sacrifices, and family loyalty that defines Salem's most prominent families will be tested in ways that challenge their fundamental beliefs about right and wrong, protection and truth, love and justice. The stage is set for explosive confrontations, emotional revelations, and life-altering decisions that will reshape the landscape of relationships in Salem. Friday's episode marks just the beginning of a complex storyline that promises to deliver the passionate drama and unexpected twists that Days of Our Lives fans have come to expect and cherish. Innocence Damned. A tense family drama unfolds in Days of Our Lives. In the world of soap operas, few shows capture the twists and turns of family loyalty, betrayal, and high-stakes drama quite like Days of Our Lives. For those of us who have followed the lives of the residents of Salem for years, the latest episodes have been nothing short of riveting. Today, we're diving deep into a particularly intense scene that highlights the DiMera family's desperate efforts to protect their own. Titled Innocence Damned, this storyline revolves around E.J. DiMera's fierce determination to save his son Johnny from a guilty verdict, even if it means crossing ethical lines. Let's break it down step by step, exploring the emotions, conflicts, and cliffhangers that make this episode so unforgettable. We'll take our time to explain each part clearly, so you can picture the drama as if you were right there in the room. The story begins in the grand, dimly lit living room of the DiMera mansion, a place that has seen its share of secrets and schemes over the decades. E.J. DiMera, a powerful and often ruthless businessman, is locked in a heated conversation with his sister, Kristen DiMera. Kristen, known for her cunning ways and unyielding loyalty to her family, is being pressured by E.J. to do whatever it takes to ensure that Johnny, E.J.'s son, is found innocent in his ongoing trial. Johnny has been accused of serious crimes, and the tension is palpable as the jury deliberates. E.J.'s voice is firm, almost commanding, as he lays out the ultimatum. Find a way to make sure the jury finds Johnny innocent, or I will have no choice but to turn Rachel over. Rachel, for those who might need a reminder, is Kristen's beloved daughter, a sweet but inquisitive young girl caught in the middle of adult conflicts. E.J.'s threat is no idle words. It's a dagger to Kristen's heart. Turning Rachel over could mean losing custody or exposing her to dangers from the family's many enemies. Kristen, her eyes flashing with a mix of anger and desperation, pleads for more time. Just give me a little longer, she begs, her voice trembling. But E.J., ever the pragmatist, shakes his head. Time is a luxury they don't have. The jury is already in deliberations, meaning a verdict could come at any moment. The clock is ticking, and the stakes couldn't be higher. As the argument escalates, E.J. points out the harsh reality. It's too late to bribe the judge or pull strings in the usual DiMera fashion. Those old tricks won't work now. So what options are left? Kristen, pacing the room with her hands clenched, suggests alternatives, but E.J. has a darker idea brewing. Should we blame an innocent person? Kristen asks, her tone laced with disbelief. To her surprise, E.J. nods vigorously. Yes, that's a good idea, he replies, his face hardening with resolve. It's happening right now, and we need to act fast. Find a scapegoat that isn't my son. The word scapegoat hangs in the air like a storm cloud. In simpler terms, E.J. is proposing they frame someone else for Johnny's alleged crimes, shifting the blame to protect their family. He even suggests Ava Vitali as a potential target. Ava, a woman with her own complicated history in Salem, full of rivalries and romances. But Kristen isn't convinced. That won't work, she counters, shaking her head. Ava is too savvy, too connected. Pinning the blame on her could backfire spectacularly and drag the DiMeras into even deeper trouble. The siblings argue back and forth, their voices rising, painting a picture of a family on the brink. E.J.'s love for his son drives him to extremes, while Kristen's maternal instincts clash with her willingness to bend the rules. It's a classic soap opera dilemma. How far will you go to protect the ones you love? Meanwhile, upstairs in Rachel's cozy bedroom, a different kind of drama is unfolding. Marlena Evans, the wise and compassionate psychiatrist who's been a pillar of strength in Salem for generations, is trying to keep young Rachel occupied and away from the chaos below. Marlena, Rachel's aunt through family ties, knows all too well how the DiMera secrets can harm innocent children. She's using every trick in her book to distract the girl, perhaps telling stories or playing games, to prevent her from wandering downstairs and overhearing the tense discussion. But Rachel is no ordinary child. She's sharp and curious, with a streak of mischief inherited from her mother. As Marlena chats away, Rachel's ears perk up at the faint sounds of arguing voices drifting up from the living room. She starts asking questions, her big eyes wide with concern. What's going on down there? Why can't I go see Mommy? Marlena, ever patient, tries to steer the conversation elsewhere, but Rachel isn't easily fooled. In a clever ploy, Rachel pretends that her pet snake, yes, a snake, which adds a quirky touch to the scene, has escaped its cage. Oh no, Auntie Marlena, the snake is loose, she exclaims, her voice full of feigned panic. Marlena, though reluctant and perhaps a bit squeamish about snakes, agrees to help search for the imaginary escapee. She bends down to look under the bed, checks behind the curtains, and peers into closets, all while keeping an eye on the door. This gives Rachel the perfect opportunity to slip out unnoticed. With the stealth of a little detective, she tiptoes down the hallway and races downstairs, her small feet pattering on the stairs. Marlena soon realizes the trick and calls out, "Rachel, come back!" She hurries after the girl, her heart pounding with worry. What if Rachel hears something she shouldn't? By the time Marlena catches up, Rachel has burst into the living room, interrupting EJ and Kristen's intense debate. The room falls silent for a moment as the adults turn to face the child. Rachel, standing there with her arms crossed, demands answers. "Are you hiding something from me, Mommy? Uncle EJ?" she asks, her voice small but insistent. Then, turning to EJ, she adds, "Are you mad at me for telling the truth at Johnny's trial?" The trial testimony has been a sore point. Rachel, in her innocence, had shared information on the stand that complicated Johnny's case. EJ, softening his stern expression, kneels down to her level. "No, sweetheart," he reassures her gently, placing a hand on her shoulder. "You did nothing wrong. You were brave for telling the truth." His words are meant to comfort, but the underlying tension is thick. Kristen pulls Rachel into a hug, her face a mask of forced calm, while Marlena watches from the doorway, concern etched on her features. Just as the family tries to regain composure, Marlena's phone buzzes with an incoming text. She glances at the screen, her eyes widening. It's from Belle, another key figure in Salem and Marlena's daughter. The message is short but electrifying. "The jury has returned a verdict." The room freezes. EJ's face drains of color, Kristen's grip on Rachel tightens, and Marlena announces the news aloud, her voice steady despite the drama. What will the verdict be? Guilty or innocent? The episode leaves us hanging on the edge of our seats, hearts racing. Looking ahead, the teaser for the next episode of Days of Our Lives promises even more intrigue. As Johnny's trial draws to a close, Kristen turns to an unlikely ally, Marlena herself, and asks for a favor. What could that favor be? Will Marlena, with her strong moral compass, agree to help the DiMeras bend the rules? Or will this request deepen the rifts in the family? This storyline in Innocence Damned reminds us why Days of Our Lives has captivated audiences for over half a century. It's not just about the plots and schemes. It's about the human emotions, the love of a parent, the fear of loss, the weight of secrets. For viewers like us, in our golden years, these tales resonate because they mirror the complexities of real life, wrapped in dramatic flair. If you haven't caught up on the latest episodes, now's the time. Tune in and see how the DeMaras navigate this storm. Who knows what twists await in Salem next?